Claire from The Guardian. A couple of quick questions. Will you revoke ILR from Ukrainians and Hong Kongers who have moved here under the government schemes to support those specific groups? And many people with ILR have lived here for longer than a decade, will have British families, children who have only British citizenship. Are you willing to split up families in order to, by removing ILR from those people?
800,000 people are due to qualify for indefinite leave to remain over the course of the next few years. This press conference is to say none of them will get it. The anticipated cost of the 800,000 plus who will qualify for indefinite leave to remain over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, the anticipated cost of this group of people is a staggering £230 billion. It is absolutely an eye-watering sum of money. We will not only say that these people do not qualify for indefinite leave to remain, we will abolish indefinite leave to remain as a category in this country.
Nigel. Guys, the video you just watched, the man in that video is called Mr. Nigel Farage. And if you don't know him already, he is known for very controversial utterances like these. Okay, as to who he is really, does what he say hold water? Does he have any authority to implement any of these things? I'm going to talk all about it in this video, okay? So cool temper, relax, and stay tuned, okay? You don't have to let everything you see on the internet bother you. Some people are loudmouths like Nigel Farage, okay? But let's go into the details. Stop that. So hi guys, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Anel Gazolda. Yes, I am a migrant nurse currently living and working in the UK. So if you don't know, again, let me introduce you to Nigel Farage. I have tried so much not to talk about him on my channel, but it looks like we may have to. And if you want an in-depth video about who this man is and what he stands for and everything about him, please comment below. Okay, but for now, let's talk about the issue at hand. Mr. Nigel Farage is no stranger to controversy. He led UKIP or UK Independence Party. He was one of the loudest voices behind Brexit, and he's basically just built a career out of stirring out anger from the public and from migrants especially. Yes, we've noticed that. Yeah, because he makes such bold declarations and bold suggestions about migration that makes you wonder, really? Now at the moment, he is a member of parliament. He is the MP for Clacton, and he's the leader of Reform UK, which is a political party. Okay, yes, he's gained lots of popularity in the last few months because his polls are rising. I mean, when you check the blogs, he's doing quite well in terms of his new political party Reform. But does he actually have the power to make all of these things that, or to do or implement all of these things that he's suggesting in the video you watched? No, like I said, he's only an MP for Clacton. He's just a member of parliament representing the people of Clacton in parliament, and he's a leader of Reform UK, which is a political party, but they're doing well in the polls on the blogs, but that's really nothing. So what exactly is this man talking about? So he is talking basically about what his party is going to do if they were to come into power. What exactly is he saying? Let me read them. Okay, he's saying that one, he's going to abolish indefinite leave to remain, a status that currently allows migrants to live and work in the UK permanently. So you know, most pathways allow people to come to the UK on visas, and then sometimes after 3 years or usually after 5 years, you qualify to apply for indefinite leave to remain, where now you can access public funds, where now you're no longer tied to an employer or your sponsor, where now you don't have any restrictions because you're not on a visa, and then usually 12 months after that, after having that indefinite leave to remain, you qualify to apply for a British passport. But this also comes with passing an English test and then passing the Life in the UK test, right? And this man is saying that if he should come into power, or if his party Reform UK should come into power, which he is the leader of, he is going to abolish this whole ILR in general, and he's going to replace it with a 5-year renewable visa. So every year, 5 years, you have to renew your visa, renew visa. And he says every renewal is going to come with very, very strict conditions. Every renewal, he says there's going to be English language tests, you cannot have access to public funds, etc, etc. He says even those who have ILR will be forced to reapply. And he's going to really restrict family migration. So if you're in the UK on a work visa, let's say as a nurse or a doctor, you cannot automatically just bring your family with ease. He's going to make it even stricter. And for the time to apply for citizenship, he's going to extend it. Already, the current political party in power, the current government, is looking at increasing it from 5 years to 10 years. And this man is also saying he's going to extend it. So basically, this is what he's saying. The only thing that he was a bit less strict on is for EU people with settled status. Those are the only people exempt from all of these policies that he's just suggested. He says for them, they are excluded because of the Brexit withdrawal agreement. And the scary part about what this man said is that he's even trying to say that those who already even have ILR, it's like now it would not mean anything, you'd have to reapply. And that is what is even so imagine miracles can happen, right? Imagine reform becomes the government, right? Nigel Farage is now our prime minister, right? And he says even ILR is scraped off, you have to reapply for a 5-year renewable visa, blah, 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 blah. Imagine you've worked your ass off as a nurse, as a doctor in the UK, you've paid your taxes, you've paid everything you're supposed to pay, you follow the rules, and then he says your ILR that you have applied for is now nothing. You have to apply for a visa again. It's like going back. That is so, what's the word, inhumane. And that's why I think Nigel Farage is just talking like he does. That's what he knows how to do best. I'm telling you, this man has built a career out of saying such things, okay? And it has worked for him because now he's very popular and he's coming out with this as well. Certainly, this will not play out easily. There'll be loads of legal battles here and there, human rights fights and all of that. It will be very chaotic. It's not going to go down easily like the way he's saying it to make it look like, even if he was to be prime minister today, because lots of things stand in his way, like human rights laws, like international agreements, like all of these things. And it's not going to be easy for him to implement all of these things that he's saying. Now, I'll tell you what I think about why he said that very soon. But follow me. So for him, Nigel Farage, he says that the reason why he's doing this is because over 800,000 people in the next 4 to 5 years are going to qualify for indefinite leave to remain. This means that they're going to have access to public funds, they're going to be able to receive benefits and all of that, and that is going to cost the country, they mentioned this amount, 230 billion pounds. Okay, so because they do not want that, that is why he is doing this, so that, you know, they can save that amount of money for the UK. But economists are already questioning those figures. Like, people are saying that we don't even know where he got that 230 billion pounds amount from. Where did he even get it from? I tell you for a fact, I've had my indefinite leave to remain, or I've been a British citizen for, let me say, a year now, or I've had my permanent residency for like 2 years now, right? I've never claimed £1. Never. Not me, not my son, not my husband, never. We don't want it. Most of us that are genuinely in here working as nurses, doctors, accountants, care, we don't want that money. We don't want it. Money where when you get it, that means you can work certain hours, and we don't want it. I've never claimed, and I don't think I ever will. So the idea that everybody in this country on a visa and is about to get into permanent residency is only doing that for the benefits, I think that is so wrong. This is what I think. Immigration is a very, very emotional topic for the British people and the Irish people, and we all know that most people in the country have been trying to cut down on immigration. We've seen riots, you know, in the last couple of months, and in last year we've seen a lot of things, right? We've seen so many legal issues, court issues, and all of that, with taking back deportations, asylum seekers, and all of that. And even as legal migrants as well, we've all been affected one way or the other. I think that anytime Nigel Farage's name is going down in the news, he tends to maybe say something very controversial to stir anger in the public. And I think he's done this very well, because look at me now, I'm talking about him. I never wanted to really talk about Nigel Farage, but look at me now. I think it's working because it's an emotional issue, and he knows that lots of his people would say, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, that this, for this reason we are going to vote for, you know, Reform UK. I think that's why he's doing this. This is what I call political theater. Yes, he just wants to grab headlines, he just wants to rally supporters, he just wants, you know, the whole chaos and the whole public support of his people, those that are, you know. And the only sad part to this, in my opinion, is that the government in power, you know, after hearing what Nigel Farage is saying and seeing and reading the support that the general public is giving Nigel Farage, sometimes it causes them to also take some drastic measures or do some drastic things. That is the only part that I don't like, because now if the current party in power, which is the Labour Party, hears all of these things that Nigel Farage is saying and sees online, sees on X, sees on social media and other news and, you know, other platforms that it looks like the general public is in support of what Nigel Farage is saying, then if we don't take it, we are going to lose the next election. Okay, then let's also do this. I think that's the only thing. It's like it's forcing them to also, do some things that probably they initially did not plan. It's because of what Nigel Farage is doing, because Nigel Farage is sort of like a competitor. You understand? And obviously they're going to get scared because they see that Nigel Farage is gaining popularity and in the polls he's winning. So they would want to say, okay, if this is what he's doing and the masses are following him, then let's do this as well to get the masses to follow us too. That's the only part that I think I don't like about all of this. Other than that, I think he's only talking. Another video that I watched is, we all know Nigel Farage is friends with Mr. Donald Trump. Yes, apparently they are very good friends, and apparently Nigel wants the UK to be like America. That's what people are saying, and let me explain what they mean. So they are saying that Nigel Farage keeps talking about, no, we don't like cheap labor. You people are bringing all these people here as nurses and doctors to work at the cheap labor when you could, train the local people and increase their salaries and, let them work in the NHS, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, he's only saying this because he knows that immediately they bring about all these new rules where there's ILR is cancelled and you have to do 5-year renewable visa. He knows that lots of people are going to go to other countries. Doctors are going to go to Canada, Australia, US, where they are really needed, New Zealand, wherever, where they are needed and where they don't have such strict immigration rules, right? And he knows that if that happens, nurses, doctors, care workers, we're going to leave, right? And the NHS is going to now sort of like be at the verge of collapse than it already is right now. And people are saying that he intends to do that so that now they'll say that, okay, the NHS should now be privatized. And now when it's privatized, he will probably have some of the money going into his pocket. And now the UK will now become like America. So people will have to pay for healthcare, and in a way, Nigel Farage is going to benefit. That's what people are saying. As to if this is true, I don't know. But I know very well that people are saying this because, one, he's very close friends with Mr. Donald Trump or President Trump. And they think that all of this, Donald Trump has an influence over Nigel, or they speak and they kind of like want the place to be like the same. That's what people are saying. So basically, people are saying that it's basically the Trump influence, right? Now, can what he's saying actually come to pass? Let's talk about it. So right now, Mr. Nigel Farage's party, Reform UK, does not control governments. They don't have any authority whatsoever. And even if Mr. Nigel Farage should win the next UK general election, I mean, if Reform UK should win the next election and he's Prime Minister, all these things that he's saying, he's going to face a lot of legal backlash. It's not going to go down smoothly like that. Like, even if he should win, it's not going to be so smooth that today he's Prime Minister, tomorrow all these things come into effect. It's not going to be like that. So when you sleep, okay? He's only a political party leader and only an MP for Clacton. Just that, okay? What he says does not hold water like that. So don't lose sleep over all of these things that he's saying. Plus, he cannot by himself change this immigration rule tomorrow. So don't get scared, okay, when you hear stuff like this. Now, until something happens, the next UK general election is going to be in 2029. So we're currently in 2025. So about 4 years from now. So until then, when you sleep, okay? We already have this public consultation of ILR to deal with. We already have what we are dealing with in life right now to deal with. Don't let Mr. Nigel Farage's thing be a bother, okay? Yes, people are saying that Reform UK has a lot of popularity now. People are leaning towards him, but they don't always work in reality. It's not always like that. In Ghana's election, do you know who won in the polls? Do you know who won on social media and on the polls? It was Cheddar. But who's president now? I'm telling you, it's not always like that, okay? Another thing is that usually the way they select the Prime Minister is that the party which has the most number of MPs, okay, in parliament, and then that particular party will be, their leader will be sort of like the Prime Minister. At the moment, Reform UK, they have a handful of MPs in parliament, okay? So for them to even win in the next election is a miracle, right? And that also should let you know who you should vote for. Check who you are voting for, which party they are under in terms of MPs, okay? So now let's see, the only scary thing, or the only thing that we have to do right now is just monitor the current party in power, the Labour Party, and then also the Conservatives as well, and see if this is going to trigger them to adopt even harsher immigration policies or all of that. Because Nigel Farage is basically saying that people are not doing anything to solve this immigration issue. If it was me, I'd have done this, I'd have done that, I'd have done that. So let's see if this is going to make them respond by implementing or putting in more strict measures in terms of migration than they already are. They're already doing their worst. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. So guys, when you sleep, okay, even if he should come to power, there's a lot of, backlash. People are saying he's only opening his mouth and saying what he wants, but that is not even feasible. In reality, it's not going to stand. Are the people in parliament going to vote for it? Is it like, relax, okay? He's just talking, like our dear sister Kemi has been talking as well, so relax, okay? At this point in time, what we should focus on is our family, our health, our family, our spiritual lives, and maybe we can consider thinking about the public consultation regarding the ILR extension from 5 years to 10 years. That's what should be a border. But anyways, if there's any updates, if they cough on all of this issue, if something substantial happens, that means something, I'll come and give it to you. So click on the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. Thank you so much for watching. Do not lose sleep over this, okay? Thank you. Bye.